naturally to help people mindfully move their bodies, to address blockages that are held energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and going through guided meditations as well to work through the subconscious blockages that may be occurring, so that really the people can live inspired, just like my company, Inspired Life, have an inspired and empowered life. And I really feel honored to hold space for people so I can be a part of that healing journey, so that all can just live a very joyful and empowered and inspired life. So I'm really honored to be a part of this panel and meet everybody tonight. And thank you so much for sharing this evening with us.
Great, thanks so much, Susan. Get your information in the chat for people. And let's see who's going to go next. Put in gallery for a moment. Where are we all? Okay, let's see. So we've got Daniel and Aylin and Thorn, and who wants to go? Anyone in particular? It's Thorn. Are you Daniel? Okay, Daniel. So Daniel, go. Let me get you pinned. All right. Go ahead, Daniel.
Okay, great. My name's Dan.
Switch to. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Daniel Steinmetz. I'm a licensed bodyworker and a personal wellness consultant. My business is called Moving Deeper Wellness, and I look at my services as body-based, whole person, because for spiritual seekers and others, I consider us as multidimensional beings, inescapably, that we can focus on one level or another of ourselves, but healing truly happens when all dimensions of us are included: physical, emotional, mental, multiple spiritual levels. All need to be in the mix in order for change to happen. And that's the nature of my work. I have 25 years of bodywork training, licensed in 3 states, and I bring, integrating in with that, 40 years of personal exploration of health and wellness practices as a lifestyle, testing what works for me and what doesn't and why. And the largest container for me personally is a commitment to living in alignment with spirit and seeking truth not as a dogma, but truth as a living experience. And so I bring all of that to my work with my clients. I consider my work to be temple work. It's not something that I do casually, although levity and laughter is part of the mix, is therapeutic. I have echoes of working in temples in ancient Egypt and the Essenes. So I just try not to insist that life-changing things happen every time, but I'm there for that, to support that. And each session is a dive deep and then come out over the course of half an hour to 2 hours, whatever the client needs. This is client-led, based in mindfulness and self-inquiry and listening. And spirit always is the authority in our work. Oh, let's see, is there anything else? I work body work, directly working on the floor, on table, in warm pool, massage chair even. And I also work at a distance using tuning forks and vibrational work. Is the last few years I've been working less hands-on and more present and energetic. So there's much more I could say, but I think I'll leave it there. And again, my name's Daniel, and I'm really happy to be here in this sanctuary space with you all.
Thanks so much, Daniel. And by the way, this is Daniel's first time. This is Daniel's first time joining us on a panel, and we also have Aylin joining us for the first time today. So let's see. So let me get Thorn in the front. And let me find where Thorn is. And then who's in? So Sharon, are you interpreting for Thorn? Or who is?
Dana is.
Okay, Dana, let me get Dana in the front. Let me pin you. Oh, there's Dana. All right. All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Thorn. My name's Sign American Sign Language is off the cheek like this. If we haven't met yet, it's great to meet you. So I do astro reading, tarot, rune work, energy healing. I work with chakras. I do Fey-led work. So we were the whole spectrum. I do the gamut. I've also been involved in Reiki and energy celebration, researching past lives. I think with this particular topic on today's panel, I'm really focusing on the holistic aspect of it and whole healing. I'm a huge proponent of that.
Sorry for the noise.
We each take to find our individual health, and how sometimes we find those blockages in our life and become stuck, locked in negative cycles. So on any level, and I really take that holistic approach, and I really want to work with my clients to support them in that journey. I work with people that are both deaf and hearing, use ASL, deaf blind, hard of hearing, and I'm also LGBTQ friendly. I love working with that community as well. So that's sort of a bit of me in the nutshell. I also have another passion. I work as an ASL teacher and coach. So soon I'll be a certified life coach that works predominantly in ASL, hopefully later this year. I'm really looking forward to completing that. So that's sort of me again in a nutshell, who I am and what I can offer to you as my clients. So yay. I'm very excited to be here today, and I'm really looking forward to our discussions and getting to meet and interact and learn from all of you. So thank you so much. Cheers. Oh, one more thing. For the month of February, just for the new moon to celebrate, I am offering discounted services on my specials. So if you are interested in that, any sort of like good energy work or anything like that, please let me know, get a hold of me, and let's make something happen.
The new moon is February 11th.
I also do astrology as well, so yeah.
Plus the Chinese New Year is around that time.
Thanks so much, Thorn and Dana, and also Sharon for helping Thorn be here with all of us. All right, let's see. So are we going back to Sharon? Okay, let me get Sharon back up. And then I think Aylin is going to be next. Let me go find Aylin. Just one moment. Here we go. Get Aylin into the front. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Aylin Lona. I am a intuitive body worker and an energy worker. I've been doing body work for over 10 years. And as I've been doing that, I've been becoming more and more curious about the energetic components of stress and pain showing up in the body. So I'm now incorporating energy work into my practice. I primarily work with the chakra system and the etheric and astral bodies. It's kind of a deep therapeutic energy work that's pretty specific. So a lot of times, what I'm finding with clients is that they have situations in their life, maybe past events or things that have happened that get lodged in their energy field, and then somehow that gets tucked into the tissues of the body. And so I'm finding some very interesting results in working with people who have chronic tension in their neck and shoulders and upper back. And we do some energy work and they realize, oh yeah, I've been holding the stress about this thing with my dad that happened when I was a kid. And I help them identify what that is. I can scan it and
teach them how to release it, and then they walk back and go, wow, my back feels better. So it's really an interesting journey to work with people. And also a lot of this work can be done on yourself. So I really like working with people who really want to evolve their experience of life and the quality of life that you have. So there are practices I can teach that will help you ground yourself. I think a lot of the practitioners here today work with grounding and identifying and releasing blockages in the energetic bodies, which really filters down into the physical body. So I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to seeing what we find this evening. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Aylin. All right, I think we got all the practitioners. Now I gotta get myself picked. Okay, great. Well, I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I primarily share about my intuitive eye readings in these panels, and today I'm going to focus probably on my body psychology. So for me, body psychology is how our body is giving us so much information all the time, not just about our physical being, but about our feeling and emotional being. For example, when we feel an itch, we think it's like just an itch, but more than 90% of the time, it's where our body is giving us information about a feeling that we're having, wanting us to pay attention to something. It might be that we want or we don't want something. I'll give you a couple of examples, and I don't mean to make you paranoid. I know when I first learned about this, I got a bit paranoid about how I'm touching myself, right? Because all these simple things. So I use a model of 5 core feelings, and they show up in different parts of the body. And the typical one, for example, is anger. Anger being I want and I don't want. So yes and no. So anger often is in the jaw, head, neck, shoulders, and back. And so a simple itch right here, it's often where our body is giving us information that I want or I don't want something. Right? Or it could be that we touch ourselves here in our nose, but it's connected near where anger is. But more importantly for me, this often is blocking expression. So it's a signal that maybe there's something we're feeling or thinking that we could say, that part of us wants to say, and part of it doesn't want to say it, and we're blocking it. So all these things are information. It could even be like where you're sharing about something and suddenly your neck tips to the side. And this again is a bit of cutting off communication, cutting off flow. So it just lets us know that there's something else probably that's in there. So it's a place to go inquiring what that might be. So little pieces like that. And then there are all kinds of ways we can use our body to shift things. So for example, we often get stuck in an either or, like this or that. But what if this and that, right? What if there are ways of moving our body in the this and this? And it's shifting our whole physical being into an inclusiveness of something. Anyway, just little bits and pieces of ways we can notice things in our body and ways we can utilize our body to shift and move. And then there's just tons and tons of other things that show up in the body, our voice. So even something like a little sigh, it suggests stuckness, it suggests how we're stuck, it suggests sadness and maybe exhaustion. And it's a place where we're not expressing our yes or our desire for change. Yeah, it's all kinds of different things. So I'll be looking for those. And of course, if you're asking a question and I can see you, I can't help but see your eyes. So I'll probably get some information from your eyes also. And it may be that what comes through your eyes is in alignment with what you're talking about, or maybe it's not. And that may give me some information. So things I can look for too. And then maybe also I could say there are typical ways that what's in our eyes shows up in our body in a healthy way, or shows up in our body in a way that's not so fully flow and healthy. So all kinds of different pieces and things like that and I go looking for. I should say also I have a lot of my own personal trauma in my history, and lots of resources and tools for supporting people with that too, and subtle ways that I can sense it and see it in people that I don't even understand what it is that I'm aware of. Yeah, that's about me and my practice, and I should put information about me in the chat too, and then we'll get back here to talking about the event and how the whole event is working. And I see I've got some notes in here I need to go read too. Oh yeah, okay, great, some information. let's see, I'm going to, maybe I'll leave me up here pinned for a moment. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at the screen differently. It's funny, I'm like thinking about things differently. I think all of our practitioners got to share, right? Everybody help me if any of our practitioners didn't get to share. Okay, yeah, we all did. Okay, great. So there are 8 of us up here tonight. So you've had a chance to hear a bit about about who all of us are and what we do. I'm going to paste the information in the chat again about how it works for paying to ask a question today. We have 2 people in line with questions right now. And it would be great if you also want to share a tip for the interpreters, either on its own or in addition to asking a question. And at some point during the panel, if you'd like to give us feedback about the panel too, I just put information about the feedback forum. There, you'll get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. All that's available tonight. All right, let's see. Some logistics before we get started. So this is being recorded and we are going to put it up online. So keep that in mind today if you want to ask a question. If you'd like to work with us in private, we're all very happy to work with you in private. Most of us have specials that I put in the chat, and I'll put our information again in the chat all together in a few minutes. So we believe that everyone is intuitive. So, and in particular, because you came to this event, you probably know that you're open. This is a great opportunity to practice your intuition and see if what comes through you is in alignment in some way with what we share in our answers. And just because something came through for you, or something that comes through for you that we don't say, doesn't mean that it's not so. It's just an opportunity that you can see what does come through if it aligns with what is true for us as a way of checking in and giving yourself affirmation. So what comes through for you may be valid, even if we don't say it, of course. And if something does come through for you, though, you might want to write it down, because often they're fleeting. And if you want to reach out to the person that asked the question, please wait until we've had a chance to finish answering them. And then maybe write them privately and ask if they'd like to hear what came through for you first before you share it. And please honor them, whatever they share, if they want to receive it or not. They might be full at that moment, and maybe they've just heard from 8 of us. So please know to not take that personally and trust that it came through you for some reason. It's like 3 things that I shared. For some reason, I'm a little blank today. Let's see. Oh yeah. So this is public and it's being recorded. So when you ask a question on the panel, if we go deeper than you want us to go here, or we start talking about a related topic that you don't want us to talk about, please let us know. It's a little harder for us to see you tonight, so definitely unmute and share your voice or write in the chat quickly so we realize we want to be able to honor you and how we're answering, and we will tune and change course. And then there are 3 things. I just encourage you to listen to all that's asked and all that's answered and learn from all of those experiences. It's just a great opportunity to be here. I want to say, too, that just like HeartMath, in HeartMath, they've shown that when one person, a couple of people, a group of people are all like connecting to the idea of love, there's a field. And around them, other people are influenced to open their hearts more to love. It changes physically in their body, it has physical changes in their body. And I think by all of us being here together, we're holding energetic space for all of us that are asking the questions. And we really are propagating a field of what we're doing together. So thank you so much for being here, everyone, and doing this together as a community. That's part of what the name MeWe is about. It's about each of us, but all of us together at the same time. So thanks for being here. All right, looks like we've got more questions coming live. Let me, and I'm flexible about the order we go in. I know we've got Verna and Martha and Dee at the moment. Let me see if some others have come in. And if you can pay by PayPal or Venmo, that works best for us. Oops, let me switch. Yeah, so if we do Venmo or keep going, Venmo or PayPal is best for us. And if you need to use Square, we can do that too. Okay, just checking. Okay, great. All right, let's see. Well, so I'm going to put us on gallery for a moment. All right, great. Well, Verna, are you comfortable jumping in and being the first one? I don't know where you are in here.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now I just have to find where you are. This is great. Big Sim. Okay, let's see. Maybe, oh, there you are. Okay, great. Let's get you pinned, and I will get you and Dana up here in the front. Okay, great. We're all set. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Well,
we can, yeah, go ahead. We're good. We can see Dana, yep.
Oh, good, okay, great. Well, I have a two-parter, if that's okay. One is just about my friend and her safety in her home right now. And the other one is just related to my own feelings about that and how my stomach is hurting and my throat is burning and I'm having nausea right now. So, yay. But, yeah, so my initial sense was that she is safe and this is something going on with her, but I want you guys to let me know what your thoughts are, or what you're getting, the information you're getting. So
you said that you're concerned about safety in her home, her safety in her home. Is that right? Yeah.
That's what she's concerned about.
Yeah, so she's concerned and you're concerned.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, and let's see. And if you have, so what we'll do, since as we'll gauge is how many questions are coming in, how many practitioners are answering. It might be everybody if we're fairly brief. I want you to get a thorough answer too. Do you have any preferences of who starts answering your question?
Just whoever's called to first. You know, 2 or 3 would be fine, unless somebody has a burning kind of desire after that. I don't want to take up too much time.
Oh, no, it's definitely, you get answers from several people. And let's see, so practitioners, if you're able to raise hands using the tool in Zoom, that would be great. If you want to answer, and I see one of you has wanted to, it's in 2 places, depending on how updated your Zoom is. It might be under participants, and it might be under reactions down at the bottom of your screen. All right, great. We've got Aylin in line, so let's have Aylin go first. And let's see if I can add you to the pin and how it'll work. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, Verna. I can't really speak about your friend, but I can speak a bit to you. And if you can focus on your energy, then that might help your friend. It's kind of like putting on the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help somebody else. So, the areas you're talking about where you are feeling discomfort are your 3rd chakra and your 5th chakra. Your 3rd chakra is about your sense of yourself, and your 5th chakra is about your ability to express yourself. And because this is about safety, your 1st chakra is probably involved as well. So some things you can do to really help alleviate your own discomfort is to set a grounding cord. Are you familiar with any practices of grounding, Verna? Okay. So how I teach it is a grounding cord that goes from your 1st chakra, which is at the base of your spine, all the way down to the center of the earth.
Why did Periscope just crash?
Solidly anchored there, and you can receive nurturing energy from the earth coming up into you. Also, that will help you feel a little bit safer yourself. I would also say that if you are dealing with some fear right now, fear and anxiety, is that safe to say? Then you can imagine releasing that fear and energy out of these chakras. So your fifth chakra is at the base of your throat here, and your third chakra is at the right underneath your breastbone. You imagine fear as a ball of energy, and it's in these two places. And you release that fear out the back of that chakra down into your grounding cord, down into the earth. And that can really help alleviate those emotions so that they're not so overwhelming. And then you might have a more natural energy flow to keep moving forward. So I'm hoping that can help you a bit.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Aylin. And let's see. All right, so we've got Susan in line and Susie in line. So let's do Susan first.
Hi, Verna. Good to see you again. I'm sorry that you're having these troubles, and I really appreciate you coming here and sharing, because as you share, that can help others. And like Lorelai said, me heal, we all heal, right? So thank you. I love what Aylin said about the cord, the grounding cord. I use that a lot too, and envision that you're receiving. And I like to add in kind of the mantra, I'm open to receive, and then, stating what it is that you'd like to receive. And if nothing, verbally comes, even just that statement of, I'm open to receive, I'm willing to receive. And then conversely, with the release, I'm ready to release, I'm willing to release, and then stating what it is that you're wanting to release and let go. Maybe it's the burning in the stomach, the blockage from the throat. So just adding those things can be helpful. I'm open to receive, I'm willing to release, I'm ready to release. I would, for a couple of Reiki, you can put over your throat, just rubbing your hands together, just creating some nice warm, healing, just feeling your own energy and coming back to
Doesn't
yourself.
work so well
And just
with gloves
lightly
on, though.
place it, on your throat, or one hand on the throat, one hand on the belly, and then connect here to your breath. Just feel your belly rise and press into your hand. Feel the breath rise up to your throat, and then exhale down. And you can add even in with that breath, I'm open to receive. And as you breathe in that fresh breath, breathing in that fresh energy, I'm ready, I'm willing to release, and then releasing. So that can be really nice, just having your own healing touch on the places that are discomforting. With regard to the chakras, the throat chakra, the color there is turquoise. So maybe adding in crystal healing of the turquoise blue, wearing turquoise blue jewelry, or the actual stone. For that solar plexus, that color is yellow. So bringing in yellow. Maybe putting lemon in your water, that can also help with the throat. Peppermint can help with the throat and the tummy. Chamomile. So those are things that nutritionally could benefit too. The color yellow, if you're wearing the color yellow, buying yellow flower. Just incorporating some of those color therapy, as well as lemon, peppermint, like I mentioned. And I feel like I'm taking too much time, so I'm gonna end it there. But there's so much more to say, and I really do wish both you and your friend well, sending her just that energetic bubble of love and support, and yeah. So thank you. I hope that was helpful.
Great. Thank you so much. I love the richness that we all share. This is great. All right, we've got Susie in line, and then after that we'll have Thorn. Go ahead, Susie.
Hey, Verna. I'm Susan. You were so concerned about taking up time, but every time I wrote a note, you mentioned it. So you went into the color therapy. So it's like, okay. And I didn't know turquoise was throat. I always see it as a blue, but I agree with her and with Aylin about doing the cord and allowing Mother Earth to provide that stability and that safety for you. I can't talk to your friend's situation. I don't have that permission to. So we're going to look and see. And what I saw is not only those color therapy things, you can wear blue or yellow, you can wear the colors, or if you have the stones, or just however those colors work best with you. I recommend that. That will help balance your chakras. I'm also feeling that this has got some triggers that are working on you, that feeling of safety in one's own home. So those are things that you would want to look at, maybe not in this life, but in a previous life, or if you had some inner child work to do. No, it feels more like there's a past life connection between you and the friend where she didn't feel safe. So you can ask to, like in dream time, you can ask to go explore that past life or lives in which you two were looking at that concept of safety as you two shared lives together and you're floating around in different capacities. That's an option for you. Yeah, there are a lot of meditations out there. I've got one on my podcast if you want to listen to past life information and work on that sort of healing. That helps heal on so many different levels, because as you're holding it in your body, as you release it, it's actually going to help other things, and things like start to domino in place. Because these other two folks were so fabulous, that's it, I'm good. Thanks.
Great, thanks. All right, let's see. We're going to have Thorn go next. So let me get Thorn on here.
Hello.
Go ahead.
So first, I just want to say how much I completely recognize and empathize with your situation and what's going on with your friend and her situation. I obviously, I can't speak to that situation. I don't have permission to, as the other practitioner said, but I can just imagine how you're feeling, and I just wanted to offer well wishes and support to you and a few thoughts that came to me as you were speaking. So first, regarding your sense of safety, I know if you're feeling distraught, nauseous, burning stomach, I just am again echoing what some of the practitioners said about working through your chakras and really trying to find that grounding, allowing that to sort of reconnect, as we were speaking, like to Mother Earth and things like that. When I think about like your aura and matching things like that, how fear often it can play a role and manifest in our stomach, and then we see how that's directly related to that experience of safety. I'm wondering about your triggers. And again, I'm just echoing what the other practitioner said. I 100% agree with all the advice given so far, and thank you also for sharing. So I'm going to take it one step further, if I may, and just add in. So your root chakra is sort of at the base of your spine. So it sort of sits right at the base of your spine. And that's also connected to the earth and astrology chakras as it goes all the way down underneath. So we think of like the root of a tree being grounded. And when I think about this, I think of that root chakra going down almost about 10 or 20 feet into the heart of the earth. And so that earth star is really important when we think about being grounded, especially to that depth. We think of all that strength we're receiving from Mother Earth, how that is being transmitted literally physically into our bodies. And that will help center you. As you feel more rooted, you will feel a greater sense of strength, and that will also give you an everyday sense of security that will help all of that tension be released, and you will feel light. So that's one option or approach. I'm also thinking about not feeling safe in your own home, the anxiety that's manifesting with that. And so I had a few ideas for maybe how we could sort of neutralize the fear in your own home, how to sort of clear out your home of negative energy. So my first idea regarding that is you could use salt to sort of cleanse your space. So maybe over by your doorway, there's this sort of threshold. As you enter your home, you could sprinkle some salt across the threshold, right in the doorway. And salt will neutralize everything. It will absolutely absorb any negative energy, 100%. to your home, as they cross that threshold with the salt laid down there, whatever they're experiencing will dissipate. The salt will literally cleanse it. So that's one option I was thinking about for your home. My other thought was we could also use some crystals. And that would be sort of setting up a protective barrier. So you could set up these sort of crystal wards in your home. And we have a few options for those. I have several different ideas. Black tarmine is one. I think the interpreter voiced that correctly. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah. Obsidian is another great one. Hematite. Hematite actually mirrors the sort of like energy. So if you look at hematite, you'll see it actually kind of reflects back to you. So putting that near the door, maybe near the corners of the door, or sort of maybe behind the door where it opens, that energy then gets reflected back out. So any negative energy is reflected back out of the space. Black stones work really well, or black crystals in general work really well, again, for that sort of absorptive effect that we were talking about. So taking that negative energy, that stress, that fear, and absorbing it into them. And they'll also work as sort of a shield. So you're thinking of it sort of almost just like an energy shield around. So utilizing those crystals to sort of set up this protective barrier. And that way your whole home then is ensconced in this sort of very positive, negative energy absorbing shield. And that will sort of resonate throughout the house, sort of be on the aura of the house. Could be any kind of element, any kind of color. I'm thinking fire elements, water elements, air, earth, spirit, whatever calls to you, whatever feels right to you color-wise. But I just want you to envision a barrier, a blockage, sort of your home becoming this very safe glow that you're occupying it. So those were my thoughts. And that way, again, as people enter into your home, that barrier, that sort of protective bubble is sort of working as a filter and taking away all those negative thoughts and ideas or anything that you wouldn't want to happen in your home space. It's actually really similar, and you can apply that concept that everything we've just spoken about, you can tell your friend to do these steps as well. If you want to maybe just mention this idea to your friend, I think that would be great. At the same time, I understand too that your friend needs to go, your friend obviously needs to figure out what's going to work for them. If they seem like they would be open to receiving these types of advice and suggestions, then absolutely go for it, but only you can best gauge where they're at this time. So sometimes with that energy, I think we always need to be very aware about where our boundaries are, and then also being aware of where other people's boundaries are. I think that's really important for the type of work that we do, to make sure that, before we offer advice or suggestions, that we are in alignment and acknowledging and honoring our boundaries with ourselves and our friends. So back to my main points. I really hope I'm just sending positive thoughts into the world for you, for comfort and a decrease in stress, and I thank you tremendously for being here today. If you'd like to talk any further, I'm here. I'd love to chat with you more. You can contact me anytime. Thank you.
That's great. And thanks, Lauren. You got messages about how your message rocks. All right. Let's see. Let me get Wyatt up in here. And we know we're going a little while, so we'll be quick in our answers now. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah, I'll be really quick. Hi, Verna. It is good to see you again. So, like everyone else said, I can't really speak to the specific situation of your friend, but I do have a lot of wind-guided messages, if you may, since I work with the wind. So, with the winds that I drew from my wonderful wind bag, one was Cardea, C-A-R-D-E-A. Cardea is the Roman goddess. She's the facilitator, goddess of many things, the gateway really hinges in their cosmology before we revolve around her. She is also the goddess of the hawthorn, a sprig or guarantees her over a doorway to protect the home. But also when it comes to springtime, the time we're about to happen upon, open the door. It is thought that a strong breeze coming across the doorway is assured divine protection. But it's also really good for getting things flowing again, since wind is able to clear things out. With the wind, we would not have a clear sea. It would be full of sea foam, smells, and stuff that we don't want. So bringing in the wind is going to be very helpful. For the message for you specifically, Verna, the wind that I pulled was more of a directional wind, or rather lack of direction. It's called the doldrums. And the doldrums is the place of no wind. And it does not mean do not take action. It means it is time to rest. It is time to recover and to rejuvenate and to allow your energy system to realign. COVID was all about rest and recovery. Some of us may not have rested or recovered all that much because we're stressing about it too much. So the doldrums is coming in to really remind you that it is okay to take a break. That a period of no action does not mean you're not moving forward. It's just a period for which you are able to rest and recover. So, hope that was quick enough.
Okay, great. Thank you, Wyatt. Let's see. I think I'll share something super brief. Oh, Daniel's in line. All right, Daniel, let's get you in up here.
I think you can actually go.
You sure you don't want to share? Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Verna. I'm really grateful that all the other practitioners have been great at specificity. That level of detail tends to take more time for me and more attunement with you and the guides. I'm moved to share what you might think of as meta frameworks, containers within which to work with a situation. And there's kind of a risk of saying things that can sound cliche, but I need to share them because I find them true, is that situations don't happen randomly. They happen for a reason. The big question is, what are the reasons? In other words, not just what the information is, but what can be learned from this? What can I learn from this? So actually seeking, that tends to be, in my experience, how symptoms get resolved most often, most effectively, is getting to the life issues involved. They can be other lifetimes, past or future lifetimes, though in my experience, past and future lifetimes are present if they're happening for us in the mix. So my invitation to you is to understand that there is purpose available in these situations if you can access what the universe had designed for you to move forward on your path with this. It's very tempting for us when we're having physical pains, emotional pains, mental anguish, to want to relieve the pain so we can get on with life. And that's really understandable, and I'm not advocating that we wallow in symptoms. But if we can kind of, I would say if I were to identify a technique, would be to ask of guidance, help me learn from this, help me know what I need to have revealed to me, help me know what I can do as a sovereign agent in my life. And situations, to me, there's a opportunity to fall into the trap of spiritual bypass. This situation is happening, therefore it should be happening. And I don't agree with that. I feel like they're happening until we get the lesson that we've actually contracted for. And when we can get the grab onto the lesson and then commit to doing the homework that that lesson is brought to us in this classroom of life, then we're actually making maximum use of this phenomenon that we call human life. So I'm aware that this is sort of broad and may come across as abstract. I would hope that this is archetypal and frameworking within which you do sort of an open-ended inquiry, because it's been my experience that all the information we need in life is available as we practice asking the universe to provide. It's not a lack of information out there for us, it's a matter of us welcoming it effectively enough and striking that balance between getting lost in the suffering that we might be feeling, the difficulty, and trying to escape the challenges, kind of going in and out. We never want to lose ourselves in it. That's not helpful. But we also don't want to look away and ignore the presence. Your body, I think, is giving you some really valuable messages of how to engage this situation for learning and growth, and you'll be a deeper spirit by moving through this. I hope that helps. Hope that makes sense.
All right, great. And what I'll share just super briefly are two of the fear melters or fear antidotes. So, right, my sense is that you feel scared about this. I use a model of 4 types of fear, and my guess is that 2 of them are happening for you. One is freeze, and the other is flee. Okay, so nothing's happened yet. So you're imagining, to some extent, the future of what might happen. So you're fleeing forward. And my sense is that you're a little more stiff. I'm looking at you, I can see this, a little bit more stiff in your body than you are sometimes. Right, and your breath is probably more shallow. Those are both indications of freeze. So the antidote to freeze is to wiggle. So Verna, if you want to do this with me, and anyone can do this too. So wiggling your fingers and toes, and then hands and feet.
Jesus, sorry.
And then arms and legs.
Wolfo fell off his perch.
And then shoulders and pelvis. And then spine all the way up, including your jaw. And you'll notice probably that your breathing opens a bit as you do that. So anytime that you notice that you feel a bit stuck in your body and your breathing is shallow, that's a way to open things up. And I just go back and I do it over again. But for time, I won't share that again right now. And then the other thing is to flee. So flee can be, running away, but often we flee differently as humans. So a common way is we flee up to our head, to the future, to the past. And so the antidote to this is to sumo. So it's literally to crouch like a sumo wrestler in whatever way feels okay on your body. So again, anyone, you can do this too. So you really want to feel the weight and the grounding on your body. And when you're sitting, you can just tighten your thighs and push your feet into the ground. And so what happens here, as I'm letting more people in, is that instead of fleeing out there, your energy's out there, it brings your energy right here, right now. And so I think fear is helpful when there's like a snake to do something about, and there may be something that you really want to take action with your friend right now, but right now there's so much here of what could happen that you probably can't even get in touch with that, what's right here, right now. So by doing sumo, the snakes that aren't here, the things that aren't here, float away, and we're here, and we can sense, is there something I want to take right now? So you're better able to hear, do I have an impulse that's attempting to come through? Right, is something that I want to do? Yeah. So those are 2 things I would suggest, doing the wiggle and the sumo. And this is good for everybody when you're worried about the future. And if you're working on a project and you want to know what's next, sometimes when you're in sumo and step forward in sumo, you can see what is the next step to take. Not like all the things that are out there, but what's next. All right, great. So thank you so much, Verna, for your question. Great for getting us started, and thanks practitioners all jumping in. This is great.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And I'm getting more into flow with how I'm pinning everybody. So this is great. All right, let's see. And I can pin multiple people at once, not just 2. I can pin 4 so far. All right, so we've got in line Martha and Edith and Brianna, and Dee is in line too, so we've got a few people in line. Right, Martha, I think you're going to be next. Let me go find you.
Hi.
Sorry, what was that? Someone said?
Hi. I said hi.
Oh, okay. No, speak again. Let me see if you light up.
Hi.
Aha! All right, yes, there you are. All right, I'm hitting you, and I'm taking myself off the pin. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm back. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's great to have you back.
Oh, okay. I like the wiggle and the zoom, by the way. My question has to do with my quest that I'm on for my purpose. So, having had a childhood with narcissistic parents, it's hard for me to make decisions. So, I want to see if the blockages that anybody sees that I have from childhood or past lives, and what can I do to get rid of those to be successful and not be so afraid of failure.
Okay, great question. Great question. By the way, we might have a panel coming up on healing narcissistic stuff. I can't remember if we've actually landed a date yet, but that's coming too. All right, practitioners, who would like to answer Martha's question? While people are getting in line, I'll just give you a simple exercise that you can do to move through some of this. So it's great to take a piece of paper and some writing implements, and just, well, there's no trigger, no particular issue or anything, just in your daily life, take the piece of paper and the writing implement with you and just wander around and notice what's your impulse? What do you want to do? And so go do that. And anytime you don't follow it and you don't do it, write down what gets in the way. Right? And notice what else you want to do. Go do that. If there's someone else around, it's great because there might be other people that you might want to interact with and don't, or so just, it could be picking things up or taking some tea or touching something, or you want to go outside or notice. This is a practice for noticing what's there and letting yourself follow it and noticing what gets in the way and looking for themes. Right? So there's just a way you can practice the muscle of listening to your impulses and following.
How come it looks better on that one than that one?
And then Susie online. So let me get Sandra up here first.
I don't see your face in the other one, Wolf.
Sandra, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a practice that I do that is called unwinding, and it's really simple. And once you learn it, you can do it for yourself. And when I'm really working on unblocking and undoing something, I'll do this every morning as I get up. I'll just check in and see how I feel and how I'm making decisions. In looking at your body and doing a body scan, you're blocked in the lower four chakras all the way up from your safety chakra and your root chakra to your creative cycle in your sacral, up to, of course, your power center and in your solar plexus and your heart. And so, if you want to, and anybody who wants to follow along, I can do the process with you. It's really quite simple to unwind and open that up. And I'll also do the adrenals, because the adrenals put us into the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight place. And where we want to be in life, walking through life, is our parasympathetic. When we're in our parasympathetic,
all right, well, this is not working very well, so
and we want
thanks
that
for trying.
flow. We need that flow in order to allow ourselves to move through whatever we're dealing with, and especially when you're trying to make decisions. If you're in the sympathetic fight and flight, it's really difficult to move past that. You need to get out of that and move into the sympathetic. So I use the breath, and are you open to trying this, Martha?
Yes.
Okay, so it's really simple. Everybody can do it. First of all, just take a deep breath in, and at the top, hold the breath, and hold it as long as you can, and just relax into it while you're holding the breath. The space between the breaths, whether you're holding the breath in or holding the breath out, is where the magic happens.
My knee hurts.
This is where you're going to put yourself into the sympathetic, parasympathetic. So just keep holding it and feel your monkey brain. start to quiet. When you can't hold it any longer, just let go. And that's just a really quick thing. Whenever you're feeling anxious about anything, you can just take that deep breath in and just listen for the quiet in your mind, that space between the breaths. Yogis, ancient yogis for centuries and centuries have been doing this to elevate their energy vibration. So the next thing we're going to do is do the space between the breath, and when you breathe out, I'm going to ask you to imagine that as your air is going out, you're pushing out, out, out with the breath. So you're breathing out very slowly. So take another deep breath in and hold it and feel that quietness where the brain stops judging, where you're just quiet and you're touching source. You're touching your higher self here. And then as you release it, blow the air out. Blow that space all the way out into the universe as far as you can. Just keep seeing it all the way out, out, out. Clear out to the quantum field. The quantum field, when we get to that space, is where you can affect change. And I'm going to help you with this as you're here in the quantum field. I want you to just say, bring up and say, fear, come. And you don't have to feel it for a long time. Just say, welcome. Show me what this is about. And if you hear something, feel something, pay attention to it, but you don't have to. Now, at this point, just say unwind, please. And you can visualize a cord unwinding. You can feel it unwinding. You can hear it. But just allow it to and feel it in your pelvic area as it unwinds and relaxes and releases. There's other people on the call that also just release it and relax it. Now do the same for the sacral chakra, your creativity, and just ask, say, creativity, come to me. Show me, what is it you need? Jesus. Pay attention if you hear something or feel something.
Sorry.
And then say unwind, unwind, and allow in your belly, below your belly button, allow that to just unwind and relax and release and feel it unwinding and releasing for you. Breathe it out as it unwinds completely. Okay, Martha, now we're going to do that for your power center, where you empower yourself. Now ask, show me the issue with giving away my power, with refusing and limiting myself with my power. See if you hear anything, feel anything, see anything. Now ask, unwind and let go. And just let it go. Let that rope unwind. Release it. Free it. Open it. Feel it. Relax. And open. And connected. Now we're going to do your heart chakra. This is where you have a lot of trauma here. So do the same here. Say, heart, my soul, show me what is the issue here. And listen, pay attention. Now from your heart, you're ready to let go. And you're ready to move on. You're ready to move into unconditional divine love, and release it and unwind your heart. Allow that rope to twirl and unwind. Feel your body relax. Feel your body connected from the root, from your pelvis, all the way up to your heart. And then move the energy up into your throat. Move the energy up into your third eye, where you can see your life purpose. And up into your crown chakra. Take a deep breath in. Feel the energy coming all the way from your pelvis, all the way up to your crown, and just release everything. Unwind. Take another deep breath in and go above your crown chakra, all the way up 15, 30 feet above your head. And release, relax, all the way down into the earth where you're grounding, all the way to the center of the earth, to the crystal core where you're connected. You are now connected completely. And with each breath you take in, you're breathing in connection all the way through, grounded and all the way up to your soul and your spirit. And when you breathe out, you're going back down and connected in an infinity circle. And that is your true state of being. Thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. When you're ready, Martha, how are you feeling? Good. Let those tears come. They're good. They're washing. They're cleansing. It's really, really good to be crying or laughing or sighing or yawning. Just let it go. You even look different.
I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've cried many, many tears, but for a long time I hadn't cried. And my mom passed away 3 years ago, so that was good.
You can do this for yourself. You can get up in the morning and say, what's the main issue? Do the breath, go to the space between the breath, breathe it out into the quantum realm, and then just ask, what's the issue I need to work with today? And then unwind it. Because problems will unwind when we let go and let God, or let the universe, or whatever you want to call it. So you can do that process for yourself every morning, just reminding yourself. And even if you just do the space between the breath, that will help. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Sandra.
Interpreters are switching.
Yeah, I'm ready now, and Susie is on.
Well, I got 5 more viewers. Thank you for stopping by.
So we're going to dig deeper too with you. But I appreciate you being willing to be this vulnerable in a relatively public forum. When you were telling us about your background, the phrase that hit me was narcissistic parent, which is leading me down a path of having you reconnect with your inner child, that girl you were back then when you realized that your parents weren't whatever ideal you were hoping for. And you can take yourself on a meditation in which it feels like Mother Mary comes through. To me, she's like the ultimate mom. So she's happy to walk with you down a path in which you see this field or an open area. And there is that version of you, whether it's a baby or a child. And I ask you to engage with the child. Talk to the child. Listen to her hopes, her fears, her dreams. Ask her how you can love and support her. Let her know this is you and this is what your life has been. And when she heals, you'll be able to heal more too. And then picking up the child and holding her to your heart and feeling your heartbeats coordinate. They become synchronous. And understanding and reassuring her that you are her and she is you. And that you will do what you can to help her feel safe, to help her feel loved and wanted, to help her feel like she is the center of your life. And like a spirit guide, you can talk to her. What would you like to do today? You know, if you have this impulse, adults are so condescending when it comes to, oh, that's silly. It's okay. Kids learn through play. You can make it more fun. It's not that they're not listening, they are enjoying it. So allowing this inner child to do those things she would have loved to do. I frequently see myself licking the batter after, mixing up dough or something. Or remembering that smell of a new box of crayons the first day of school. It was so full of possibilities. So engaging with the inner child in that way so that you can help her grow. And we're not rewriting your timeline. That would be denying your experience, which is denying you that healing. But you are looking at it in such a way that you can heal her and help her feel more confident, because this inner child is going to grow into a larger child, a teenager who becomes angry. And so you're able to help them at an emotional level, at a spiritual level, to grow and progress. And therefore, those changes that you're instilling in this young child are going to come forward into you. And I feel that's going to help you break through these fears. And I'm seeing a great big finger being wagged at you all the time. You're not good enough. This is not okay. And, so it's time to look at that finger. My thought is just to turn it and move it away. But, I tend to be a little more obvious than others. But turn that finger away and have that, gather the child next to you and close to you and assure her that you believe in her. And as she...
Why did she freeze?
Learn to understand that it's not a fear of failure. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fall, because it's the getting up. It's the correcting the error where growth is. Thank you very much.
Game day, take $10 off any $40 order from Noodles.
Thank you, Susie. We're going to have Aylin come up in a moment. And just one quick thing I thought of as she was sharing, the exercise I shared earlier where following your impulses and noticing the themes of what gets in your way is to notice and be able to do something about those. But one of the things I often use with people is like a little me and like being with your little girl.
Let's open that and see what happens.
If you have someone, you could ask them, what do you want to do? And it might be easier for you to answer through them. All right, we've got Aylin next in line. Go ahead, Aylin.
Hi, Martha. I really wanted to thank both Sandra and Susie and Lorelei for your insights. What I see is right along what Susie and Sandra said. I see the issues, blockages being more in your lower chakras, your first, second, and third. And I see the blockages being related to not having your voice heard or acknowledged when you were a kid. So you may have had desires or things you wanted to do when you were a kid and they were just shut down. And so, or you were made fun of, or somehow you were blocked. And so those blockages happened and they're still in your field. And they're also, I see courting with parents as well. So,
Do you miss President Trump? No.
To help you, manifest yourself and your true self. I loved everything that Sandra and Susie said. And one thing I would add is, you might have energetic cords still with parents or people from your childhood in your first, second, and third chakras. And those will just block your own energy flow. So if you can imagine each of those chakras, your first being at the base of your spine, the second being a couple fingers below your belly button, and the third being just below your breastbone. Imagine those little balls of energy that have cords attached to these people that no longer serve you. And so you just imagine a pair of hands embracing that chakra and releasing all those attachments and cords out of the first, second, and third chakra. And if you can do that visualization a few times a day, that will start to clean off those unhealthy attachments in those chakras, and that will allow your own energy to become more apparent. Yeah, that's to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Aylin. And we've got Susan next. Susan, all right, go ahead, Susan.
Hey, Martha. I love what everybody has said. There's some really great advice there. And I think one thing that may be helpful too is some energetic tapping. So just kind of going along, just lightly tapping up and down the meridian lines, the energy lines of your arms, front and back, both the arms, and then also just below your collarbones here, and then to your chest and the sternum, the heart area, as well as taking a hand like on your belly and then on your back, and then just like you're kind of wiping it away. And then the other side, both sides, through your liver where your body processes toxins. And you can just take, maybe like a minute, down, up and down each arm, a minute tapping below the collarbones through that heart chakra, and then along the waist, kind of on each, in the back, the back through the belly on each side. Also, that will help with that energetic for the solar plexus. But I think really it's important too, that third eye, the sixth chakra, your intuition, really learning to trust that intuition, because that self-doubt. And so, like blue kyanite can be a nice stone, or dark indigo, purpley blue can be, me too, can be a really nice stone for tuning into that inner wisdom, inner guidance, intuition. You can even do some energetic tapping there, across your forehead, your eyes. I like to even put my hands there and just like wipe it away. And similar to what Lorelai was showing too, just shake, after you've done all this tapping, just shake it all off. Shake it all off. Set yourself free. Free. A book that's been really helpful for me in my journey with healing from narcissistic people in my life has.
Why did it freeze? I'll try to fix it. Hold on a second. I don't know.
Figure, all knowing, all seeing, all embracing, there for total support, the mother of the heart, there for little girls, there for the sisterhood, there for all femininity, all shapes and sizes. And so as you were saying that, I was really connecting with that, and I think it might be helpful to ask Isis to come and help you sort of clear out some of these blockages that you're having. I think that can really help shift your perspective, because you have to understand, in some way, this is your story, but it's also the story of your parents and the trauma they inflicted on you. And so I want you to have your own authentic story and find your own authentic self, because it is in there. Now you have the opportunity to recognize that that story was foisted on you. The narcissistic parents and all the trauma, they fobbed that on you, and you can acknowledge that now and get rid of it.
Yeah, I resonate more with Isis. Sorry, Susie, but my mother was very devoted to Mother Mary, so so that was
Truly, whoever works best for you. It's all divine. It's all aspects. And Isis is your girl. That's totally fine. Well done. Thank you for saying it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so definitely Isis was coming to mind right away. And I think for me, a second just thing I would posit for you, any kind of negative energy, anything that feels draining, like there's a rain cloud over you, anything like that, for me, there's a really quick way that this is sort of thing I recommend to a lot of my clients that I work with. Try to envision that energy like a little ball, and then imagine someone is handing the ball to you. So think about, let's say if we were to write it in a letter, right? You would put it in an envelope. Imagine sort of doing that, taking the energy and putting it in sort of a metaphysical envelope, and then say, return to sender. So I want you to envision taking that negative energy, putting it in an envelope, and saying, return to sender, and give it back. Go put it out there. And also, that will really help support your energy. I also really want you to focus on your boundaries. So your physical and emotional boundaries, and maybe do some grounding work with that. I think that would really help with that. So just a little food for thought that came up. If there's any other information I can offer, please let me know. And I really, really appreciate I'd love the chance to work with you, and thank you again.
thank you.
Great, thanks so much. And we've got Daniel next.
Hi, Martha.
Hi.
Thank you so much for bringing this. It's moving to me. To me, you're highlighting central things in your life. I mean, you said you're on a quest and search for purpose. To me, that's what could be more important, what could be more encompassing. So it strikes me that you are is where your energy is ultimately going to come from. To keep moving forward, to keep releasing it. So the finger you put on the deepness of this, I think, is worth holding on to. This isn't sort of trivial stuff. This is the most important goal in your life, is purpose. And the stakes are, you might say the stakes, if we think of ourselves as having situations in life that we create, not personally